This video will teach you how to do word study homework with your child. When students engage in word study, they are examining words by comparing and contrasting and forming generalizations about different spelling patterns. We do that by using what we know about English spelling to teach word knowledge. So you can look at the graphic on the right. We use alphabet, pattern, and meaning layers of English spelling to teach students. Um, the alphabet layer focuses on the relationship between letters and sounds. The pattern layer focuses on different patterns in words, such as the long vowel patterns versus short vowel patterns. The meaning layer focuses on prefixes, suffixes, Greek and Latin words, Greek and Latin roots, that sort of thing. So also we're in word study, we use a student's uncorrected spelling to identify what they know about words and what they are next ready to learn about words. So we typically call that a child's invented spelling, and it really provides a window into what a child is developmentally ready to learn next. Also, please remember the focus is not on memorizing spelling words. The focus is on learning the patterns and applying it to other words that follow that pattern. The pictures shown on this slide will give you an idea of what the word study homework will look like when it comes home in your child's take-home folder. Some of these papers have pictures, some have words, and some have a combination of both. It just depends on what particular word study activities your child is working on at the time. So when this paper comes home, your child's job is to turn the paper into a stack of cards by just cutting along the grid lines. And then you're ready to go for the next step. And we will talk about what to do with these word sorts in the following slides. As your child does the sort, it's important that they say the word aloud as they sort it. So for example, in the first picture, the child has placed their header cards to sort by the sounds ish, ush, and ash. When in the second picture, they are sorting their words underneath each header, they need to say the word out loud rather than do it silently. So for example, when the child is sorting swish, they will say swish, fish, and to compare it against the keyword. In the third picture, it kind of explains why saying the words aloud can help students catch any of mistakes. So if they're putting the word rash under the brush column and they say it aloud, they have a better chance of identifying that those words do not match. And that also helps students keep the word sort from becoming just a mindless sorting. It's important that children can explain why they are sorting in a particular way because that allows them to make generalizations about their sort and transfer their learning to other areas of literacy besides just this individual sort. So please discuss the sort with your child. I've provided a few questions to help stimulate conversation with them in this little blue box here. So you can ask things like, what did you notice about this sort? How are the words or sounds in each column alike? If your child has any misplaced words, you can just ask them, do we need to move any words so they are in the correct column? You can ask them, what can you learn from this sort? If there are oddballs in this sort, ask them to explain why or how they know it's an oddball. To extend their learning, you can ask them to think of any other words that might fit in this column that are not already listed there in the sort. And many of the sorts have multiple ways they could be sorted, so you could ask them to find another way to sort. So far, we've talked about a lot of the elements of how to do a basic word sort. After they do the sorting activity, they can choose from one of the following activities to extend their learning about the words and review them. So after the basic sort, they can choose if they want to do a word hunt, speed sort, a no peeking buddy sort, a no peeking writing sort, or a draw and label sort. In the following slides, we'll talk about how to do all of these different extension options. Generally, I will let your child choose which one they want to do. If one of the activities particularly lends itself well to the sort that your child is working on, then I will give that recommendation. One of the extension options is to do a word hunt. Now, I would recommend if you do a word hunt with your child to choose a few books ahead of time that you know have the particular sound or pattern that the child is studying in their words that day. It'll just eliminate some frustration if you've looked through 5 books and you can't find the sound ing in any of them. So it's not required to do that, but it just might help make homework a little easier for your child. So to do the word hunt, just follow the directions on this slide. Write the key words or the key sounds at the top of the sorting sheet, which I'll provide for you. Choose the books to look through, and then skim and scan for those words or those sounds and record them under the category. So if you're looking at the sound SH with your child and you see the word shell in the book, then you can have your child write that down under the header sound of SH. Speed sorts are really fun for kids that like to race. So to do a speed sort, you will just need a stopwatch, and you can also find online stopwatches that are really easy to use as well. Shuffle your cards and then get out the keywords. Start the time and have your students sort their words, but make sure they're sorting them out loud. When they finish sorting, they can press stop, record the time, and then do that whole process again to see if they could beat their first time. So they're really speed sorting against themselves. And then they can record their new time in the homework journal. One note about this, a lot of times students will sort so fast that they forget to be accurate also. So I ask that they sort their words out loud so they're at least saying their words. And sometimes I will add on 1 second to their time for each word that is misplaced. So that really kind of makes them think about putting words in the right spot. In a draw and label sort, you will also use a sorting sheet template and write the keyword cards at the top of the sorting sheet. Help your child choose between 5 and 8 words from the stack that they would like to illustrate. I would recommend including at least 2 to 3 of less familiar vocabulary words from that stack as a way to help promote that child's learning of less familiar words. The rest of the words can be words that they are familiar with. So to do this, this child would choose a word, illustrate the word, and label the picture with the spelling of the word. You could also extend this by asking your child to verbally say a sentence using that word, or write the word in a sentence if they are ready for that. I would also encourage you to use these words in your everyday conversation with your child. So to sum it all up, your child will have one word sorting activity that they will study at home one night per week for homework. They'll do the basic sort and then choose one of the extension options. The word sort templates will be sent home. They look like this picture here in your child's folder. And some of the blank sorting sheets, if you're going to use them for one of the extension activities, can be found in the classroom or can be printed from my blog. Let me know if you have questions or need help implementing the word study at home. I'd be happy to meet with you and provide any demonstrations or answer any questions. Thanks so much.